So we have some guesstimates or speculation and just straight up fucking rumors that right now of the future versions of Zenless Zone Zero. And we're gonna go through all of them, read the description, and take a guess. Now, obviously, none of this shit is confirmed. Take it with a grain of salt because we do have the HSR collab coming soon, which I gotta check that real quick. Right here. Oops, right here. So, Zenless Zone Zero X Honkai Star coming in winter 2026. Now, it does say this year, and if you didn't know by now, winter starts a lot later in the time frame, around fucking December. So, this is where I'm going to say right now, take it with a massive grain of fucking salt, because we really don't know how shit is gonna go. They said winter of 2026, but plans could change. It could be pushed to like next year. We don't know. But they did. But this is the date we have, 2026. So keep that in mind. Let's start reading. Sever will be a defense type, which I'm going to assume defense is going to be like fucking revamped into armor. That's also like a very massive leak. No, not leak. It's a very massive like speculation. Take it with a grain of salt. Because, well, we're getting the armor type, and it just feels fucking weird if we have armor and defense at the same time. It's just weird, you know? Like, you get what I mean? He will be dedicated support for Rupture. Billy's passive includes defensive agents, and my prediction is that Sever will arrive before Sunbringer, who might be a Rupture. Furthermore, the inclusion of Lucia in the free selector points. Not, you know what? He's not, that is true, low-key true. I actually would believe that, because why would they give us a free Lucia as one of the options for a limited character? Even though Lucia already reran. Like, they reran Lucia, then they gave us a free Lucia as a choice. They must be preparing to drop more Rupture agents in the future. That does sound like a crackpot theory, but low-key, if this does happen, this would make sense. This would low-key make sense. And then we can go to Phoenix, which is also a Krampus member. Because, you know, if you didn't know, Krampus... Oh my god, this tape is still on me. Ow! This tip is still on my skin. Krampus has Phoenix. And she's Anomaly. Given Burnus' recent buff and the massive damage output of this Anomaly team, I suspect there might be a new Anomaly character on the way. While there are existing Anomaly characters that work with Valina and Remiel, Arya is the best option. Therefore, I wouldn't be far-fetched for them to introduce a new Anomaly character. And to be honest, Phoenix is like fire. She's literally, if you saw the trailer right, she is literally sitting in fucking like a pit of molten lava. Not sitting in, but she's sitting off metal and stuff. It would make sense if she's not a fucking fire character. Like, genuinely, she is a fucking fire character. 100%. Now, is she Anomaly? I don't know. We'll have to see when that happens. And then we go to version 3.4. And this is where things start to get a little bit tricky. Because Yeishengguang came out in 2.5. And then obviously Miyabi came out in 1.4. So I don't think it's out of the question to see a Void Hunter coming out in, you know, the 4-point version at all. Because they did this before with Miyabi. But once again, when is 3.4 technically going to come out is the real question. I'm going to assume, with how many days we have of this patch is definitely going to go last all the way into September, I believe. Let me just make sure. I'm going to look it up and just make sure. Yep, okay, I was right. Sometime in September, 3.1 is going to end, because this is a long patch. And then we're going to go into 3.2, you know, with Rossi and Claret. They're going to take majority of September and a little bit of October. And then we move on to 3.3. Sever and Phoenix are going to take a good majority of October and probably somewhere in November. And then we're going to get 3.4 probably in November. Either November or the beginning of December. But then, like I said before, we still got this collab. And I'm going to assume that the 3.3 patch is going to be a shortened patch. I have a feeling this patch is going to be shortened. It's not going to be a long patch. I don't think it's going to be a very long patch. I think this is going to be a shortened patch just to make room for this patch. That's my guess. That is 100% my fucking guess. So, if they are trying to squeeze, because looks like if they want to squeeze everything in this year, that being Sunbringer, the HSR collab, and the rest of these characters, because remember, all the characters we've seen by far they're going to be appearing. They're going to be in these next versions. So keep that in mind. We're going to be getting Sever and Phoenix and Storyteller and Sunbringer probably all within this year in this first batch. And then we're going to be moving on to, the rest of the other characters later on. And you know how they love doing like a whole musical thing in the next version after this. Which actually does beg the question. If 3.5 going to be the actual collab is the question. And how crazy are they going to do it? How crazy are they going to do this collab? Because if you remember, guys, remember this. They are good at giving us free fucking characters. They really are. They like giving us free fucking characters that do pair up with these other characters. I'm not saying I would expect it, but with Storyteller and Sunbringer, I could low-key see a free character happening for them, that patch, or a free character in 3.5. It is a huge stretch, but we've gotten free characters. Free Xiao, free Haramasa, free limited 5-star selector with Remio Dan. It's literally not out the question. It's not the question that a free character is coming. That will be coming soon. Who is it? I have no fucking idea. But I think if they are doing this HSR collab, 3.3 is going to be shortened. 3.4 is going to be, a long patch. And then 3.5 is the collab patch. I have a feeling 3.5 is going to be the collab patch, in my opinion. I 100% think it's going to be the collab patch. Now, it's just 100% speculation. We don't know for sure. All of this is a grain of salt. But the way things are going, Sever has not appeared yet. And we know for a fact, when this man appears, a Void Hunter is right before them. So if we see Sever in 3.3 and Phoenix in 3.3, then you know what? We know what's already secured for 3.4. And then everything else is we're just kind of thinking, when's S-Rank Nicole gonna happen? When is like the Robin collab gonna happen with HSR? It's all we're all just trying to figure out what the hell's happening. But all we need is confirmation of once we get confirmation of 3.3, then we'll figure out immediately. Yeah, 3.4 is gonna be Storyteller and Sunbringer. I think everybody knows. I think everybody should know this. But until then, I'm just going to end the video off right here. I think I did enough speculation. I didn't read off all the elements and stuff because all of those are like complete speculation. I'm mainly here to talk about like version patches or supposedly what we could see in the future. But when these type of like take it with a grain of salt have happened, some of them are spot on. Some of them were just spot the fuck on. But like I said, we have Roxy and Claret in 3.2. All we need to see is 3.3. And if Phoenix is first and then Severn is after, yeah, we know who exactly is coming in 3.4. I think that's guaranteed. But alright, I'm gonna see y'all later, boys. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.